Welcome back to my YouTube channel. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sterile glow on the marble floors of the 42nd floor executive suite. I adjusted my blazer, the one I'd bought with my first big bonus, and took a deep breath. My heels clicked softly as I walked toward the security desk to turn in my badge. 5 years at Viridian Corp, countless late nights, and a reputation for closing deals no one else could touch. Today was my last day. I'd resigned 2 weeks ago, citing new opportunities, but the truth was messier. The boys' club at the top had worn me down, snide comments in boardrooms, my ideas repackaged by men who got the credit, and the constant, exhausting need to prove I belonged. I handed my badge to the guard, a kind older man named Carl who always had a smile for me, but his face was tight, his eyes avoiding mine. That's when I saw it, my headshot, printed in grainy black and white, taped to the desk. Scrawled in red marker across my face were the words, "Do not let her back on the floor." My stomach dropped. The air felt thick, like I was breathing through a straw. I wanted to rip it down, demand answers, scream about the injustice of it all. Instead, I turned and walked out, my heels echoing in the silent lobby. I didn't cry. Not yet. 2 hours later, I was in my apartment, still in my blazer, staring at a half-empty bottle of Pinot Grigio on the counter. My phone buzzed and I almost ignored it. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Clara, it's Tom." The CFO's voice barked through the speaker. Tom never called me directly.
"The $300 million merger with Apex is off."
"They pulled out, Clara. They're losing their minds up here." His voice was frantic, edged with something like fear. "They're on their way to your house to beg." "Do not answer the door." I froze, the phone pressed to my ear. The merger. My merger. The one I'd spent a year orchestrating, navigating egos, crunching numbers, and convincing Apex's CEO that Viridian was worth the gamble. I'd handed it to them on a silver platter, and they'd thanked me by taping my face to a desk like I was a criminal. Now, without me, it was crumbling. I pictured them. Mark, the smug CEO who'd once joked I was too pretty for finance. Rachel, the COO who'd undermined me in every meeting. And the board, a sea of gray suits who'd nodded along. They were piling into their chauffeured cars, speeding toward my brownstone, ready to grovel. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I poured a glass of wine and walked to my window. The city skyline glittered, all sharp edges and ambition. I thought about my first day at Viridian, 26 and starry-eyed, clutching a coffee and a dream. I thought about the nights I'd stayed late, the deals I'd closed, the microaggressions I'd swallowed. I remembered the time Mark called me sweetheart in front of a client, and how I'd smiled through it, my jaw aching. I thought about my mom, who'd raised me alone, telling me, "Clara, you're tougher than they'll ever be. Don't let them forget it." The doorbell rang. I didn't move. It rang again, insistent, followed by a sharp knock. I sipped my wine, letting the silence stretch. They didn't get to rewrite this story. Not this time. I set the glass down and opened my laptop. My inbox was already flooding. Emails from colleagues, from Apex, from Tom again. All variations of panic and pleas. I ignored them and opened a new document. I typed, "To whom it may concern, I am no longer available to salvage your mistakes." I didn't send it. Not yet. But the words felt like a spark, igniting something I'd buried under years of playing nice. This wasn't just about me. It was about every woman who'd been pushed out, silenced, or reduced to a footnote in someone else's story. It was about the ones still fighting, still proving themselves in rooms that didn't want them. I thought of my younger self, the one who'd believed hard work would be enough. I owed her more than a quiet exit. So, here's my call to you. Reading this, maybe sitting in your own version of that fluorescent-lit office, swallowing your anger or your pride. You are not their scapegoat. You are not their decoration. You are the reason their deals close, their numbers add up, their companies survive. If they can't see that, let them feel your absence. Let them scramble. Walk away, not quietly, but with your head high, your worth undeniable. Build your own table, your own empire, your own story, and when they come begging, let them knock on a door you've already closed.